Hey everyone, how have you been? It's Friday. We haven't done a video last week.
No, we did
so
not.
We missed out on our last week. We had a bit of chaos in the office with various things, And we thought today we'll just have a general discussion about a few important but not linked together things.
Yes.
So yesterday we had a call from one of our clients, and it just made me realize again how much loss we have been going through since COVID. One of our clients lost her favorite, one of her pets. It was like a child, us pet lovers, our animals are our children.
Yeah.
And she's lost one of her children, and she's devastated. And I am just again reminded of how much this whole situation in the last nearly 19 months have affected all of us. So, but really the talk is not a morbid one. The talk is really about how do we actually carry on with, how do our pets carry on without one of their one of their brothers or sisters around. What's the best way to handle it? And I think what you are going to say is probably going to sound a bit over the top, right?
Yes, it does sound quite, as Monica said, quite over the top. Some people might think it's quite morbid, but if you're wanting to know how you can allow your other fur kids to cope with the loss of one of their brothers or sisters, that you've either had to put down or there's been an issue with, unfortunately the best way, because we can't speak to our pets, unfortunately, is to show them. So what I've done with all my pets in the past, I've put down quite a few senior pets, and the best way to do it is actually to take your doggy home after they've been put down, and just allow the rest of the family to, just kind of smell them and almost say their last goodbyes, just so that, your other pets can really put two and two together and understand where their other family members gone. Otherwise, what ends up happening is, and I'm sure a lot of clients have experienced this, their pets, the rest of the pets that are left at home end up developing a lot of anxiety, for a couple of weeks to a few months, because they unfortunately left not knowing what's happened, to this dog or this cat, and they end up waiting every single day, for this dog to come home or for their brother to come home. Which can be very traumatizing for them, and obviously us as the owners, we very distressed because we miss the dog or cat that we've put down, and we can see that our remaining pets are extremely worked up and stressed out, and it just makes it a lot harder to get through. So as morbid as it sounds, the best way is to show them, because obviously we can't explain it to them.
Look, I'm not able to do that,
No.
but I think that is the best way, or otherwise, if you are going to have to put them down, take them with to the vet, so that they can say their last goodbyes. And it's just I'm again reminded as well of how big an impact our animals make. I still yearn for my very first animal that I had to put down, and I remember them all, and they all have a space in my heart. So although I have new ones, they've never replaced the other ones. So they just all have a space, an ongoing forever space in my heart. So, and I think us animal lovers are exactly like that.
Yes.
So that's where we are. So thanks for that, Megan.
I know it's not nice, but
not the nicest. But then again, So can we move on to something more fun? Potentially, or not.
A little bit more gross, I think.
So, with summer comes fleas and flies. Oh, I managed to say that without a problem.
That was quite impressive.
So, fleas and flies, how do we manage them? So, fleas we manage with Spot On or with our normal ones. And flies, what can flies do potentially to our animals?
So, unfortunately, I think as most people have noticed, in Johannesburg especially, we've been steadily getting progressively worse with our fly problem. There seems to be more and more every single summer.
Correct.
Especially those that live on plots and around horse places will know that flies are a huge problem. And some of the things just to look out for as a pet owner is obviously what they call fly strike, which is when your dog or your cat has a small wound or a little scab that's developed on the ear or the body. And what happens is these flies start targeting that one piece of open skin, and it can actually fester into quite a severe wound, and obviously if it gets bad enough you end up with maggots, and
it could
is a kind of downhill.
Sorry, I'm interrupting you wildly, but it could actually end up having to amputate an
Correct.
ear or a nose, because some dogs, unfortunately, also the lighter dogs and the cats have got issues on their ears and noses, and sometimes it is cancerous, and that's actually exacerbated,
especially in summer, because you have more sun, you have more flies, you know, so the scabbing is worse. And as you rightfully say, especially on ears and things with your white dogs, if the fly strike gets bad enough, it actually eats away the ear.
Yes, exactly.
So it really can be a huge problem, you know, so just keep an eye out, you know, to make sure that there aren't, you know, kind of hundreds of flies sitting on your dog. And there are quite a few products you can use.
Yes, that was the next thing I was going to say. I think the most basic citronella spray.
Absolutely.
That's natural. You can spray it on as much as you like, and it should shoo the flies away.
Correct.
And you know, it'll keep the other things away, but not the fleas, unfortunately.
No, the fleas and ticks are another story.
Yeah, so Spot On is the best, right? Frontline.
Yeah,
Frontline,
so your
Spot On.
Frontlines, Protectors, your chicken flea collars, you get your Seresto collars, which are awesome because they last for about 8 months.
Yeah.
So they are a little bit pricey, but they really are amazing, and they're not like the old-fashioned collars where there's a powder residue. You know,
It's
the chicken flea,
embedded
it's
in the-
embedded in the collar, so they can swim with it. You know, you can still have fun with your dog without being worried that it's coming off the collar.
Yeah, one of the things is you mentioned Bravecto. I personally am not a fan of Bravecto, only because it's a we don't know what's in there, and it's a chemical. And
well, I mean the Bravecto Spot On.
Okay.
Yes, because they've brought out a Spot On which lasts for 6 months, so it's a little bit more convenient than Frontline, but a very similar product.
Yeah, and it's an exterior thing rather than interior, and we don't know what could happen to them potentially. I don't know. For my Yorkies, you know, I don't do stuff like that for them. But anyway, that's what covers our talk today. I hope it wasn't too morbid, but go and have a great weekend.
Seems like the sun's out.
Yes, the sun's out, fun's here, right?
Yes.
How does that say? No, sun's out, fun out, or whatever.
It's actually sun's out, guns out.
Oh, no. No. Okay, on that note, goodbye, everybody. Have a great weekend. Cheers.